Previously, in Lost Chapters, we witnessed the unthinkable. The capture of Emperor Valerian by Persia's Shapur I. Rome's pride was shattered, its emperor humiliated in chains. But Rome's nightmare was only just beginning. Asterisk. With Valerian gone, his son Gallienus inherited an empire on fire. Enemies pressed on all borders. Plague had weakened the cities, and loyalty within the legions had all but vanished in the 3rd century. The purple robes of an emperor no longer meant glory. They meant a target on your back. From this chaos emerged what historians now call the age of the Barracks Emperors. Soldiers, not senators, decided who ruled Rome. Generals turned their swords not on foreign invaders, but on their own emperors, and one by one, rulers were betrayed, hunted, and cut down by the very men sworn to protect them. Asterisk. This is the story of Gallienus and the blood-soaked rise of the Barracks Emperors, a time when wearing the crown of Rome was less an honor and more a death sentence. Asterisk. When word of Valerian's capture reached Rome, shock turned into despair. Never before had a Roman emperor been taken alive by a foreign king. The empire's enemies smelled weakness. Germanic tribes surged across the Rhine. Goths swept into the Balkans, and in the east, Persia tightened its grip on Roman lands. In the heart of this storm stood Gallienus, Valerian's son. For nearly a decade, he had ruled alongside his father as co-emperor, but now he was alone, a young ruler surrounded by enemies, and by legions whose loyalty could vanish overnight. Asterisk. The Senate distrusted him. Generals saw opportunity. Soldiers, hungry, unpaid, and restless, saw the throne not as sacred, but as spoils. In this new Rome, power was not inherited. Power was taken at sword point. What followed was an era unlike any in Rome's history. An endless carousel of emperors rising and falling. The throne became a battlefield, and in the shadows of the camps, whispers spread. Why follow Gallienus when we could crown our own? Asterisk. The first cracks came quickly. In distant provinces, generals raised their standards and declared themselves emperor. One after another, commanders turned their loyalty from Gallienus to their own ambition. In Gaul, Postumus seized control, carving out what became the so-called Gallic Empire. In the east, powerful leaders whispered rebellion. Soon, Rome was not one empire, but 3, fractured by ambition and treachery. This was the birth of the Barracks Emperors, rulers chosen not by law, not by lineage, but by the spears of their legions. An emperor was crowned in the morning and dead by nightfall, cut down by the same men who had sworn him loyalty. In less than 50 years, over 20 emperors would rise and fall. Some lasted months, some only weeks. Their stories ended not with glory, but with daggers in their backs, poison in their cups, or swords drawn in the dark of night. For Gallienus, survival meant suspicion. He trusted no one, and for good reason. The throne had become a slaughterhouse, and every general at his side might be his executioner in waiting. For nearly 15 years, Gallienus walked the razor's edge. Against all odds, he managed to hold the empire together. He reformed the military, strengthening the cavalry to face Rome's fast-moving enemies. He struck back against invaders on every front, from the Rhine to the Danube. But while Gallienus fought Rome's enemies, his true danger lurked behind him, in the ranks of his own army. To 68 AD, as Gallienus campaigned in northern Italy, word spread that yet another general had risen in rebellion, exhausted by endless uprisings. Gallienus marched to confront the traitor, but in the night, the betrayal came. His own commanders, including men he had trusted, plotted his death. They entered his tent under the guise of urgent news, and there, surrounded and unarmed, Gallienus was struck down. Some say a spear pierced his side, others whisper he begged for mercy. But one fact is certain: Rome's emperor was butchered by the very hands sworn to protect him. With Gallienus dead, the soldiers proclaimed a new emperor within hours. The cycle continued. The empire survived, but the throne had become the deadliest seat in the world. Gallienus' murder was not the end. It was the beginning of a nightmare. In the next decades, emperor after emperor rose and fell, most cut down by their own men. Loyalty was bought with gold, and lives were traded for power. Rome was no longer ruled by stability, but by fear. The 3rd century became a graveyard of emperors. Some fought valiantly against Rome's enemies. Most never had the chance. Their names, forgotten by many, remain etched in history as the victims of ambition, betrayal, and bloodshed. This was the age of the Barracks Emperors, when Rome's greatest enemy was not Persia, not the Germanic tribes, not even the endless rebellions, but itself. Asterisk. You've been watching Lost Chapters, where history's most chilling and untold stories come to life. If you thought the assassination of Gallienus was dark, stay with us. Because the empire's spiral into chaos has only begun. Asterisk.